Hello everyone, happy Monday. And it's oftentimes hard to know what day of the week it is. I think it's more available to me right now that I know it's Monday is because yesterday was Easter. So I want to invite, I've had some people inquiring and asking about a chair practice that you could do, whether you're someone who's working from home right now and you just need a little bit of idea for movement, or if you're someone who feels more comfortable practicing from a chair. So I want to say a few words about the practice and then we'll dive in. The practice of yoga, as you likely know, has been around for a long time. It comes from what is formerly known as the Indus Valley. And many people have the misconception that they have to be flexible or look a certain way to practice yoga. And one of the things I want to unpack is that the practice of yoga is not a class. It's not necessarily about twisting your body into different shapes or being able to replicate someone else's practice. One of the definitions of yoga from the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, is yoga is the ceasing of the fluctuation of the mind. So the practice of yoga is a really rich, comprehensive science that includes a philosophy that integrates breath work and understanding that the mind has its tells us stories, and all the times we identify with the story, and that's what causes suffering. So the physical practice can help us root into the present moment, and it can give us the tools to cultivate the witness, to be the witness of our own experience. So we can begin to notice our patterns of behavior, our patterns of thoughts, and begin to unpack those that don't serve us. For right now, that sounds perhaps a bit daunting. So right now we're going to just invite ourselves to move and breathe, linking our breath and our movement and bringing our physical body and our mind into the same place at the same time. So I am going to ring a bell for our practice to signify the start. I see people that are starting to come on now. Hopefully you have the ability to practice with me. If not, this will be up on my Yoga Song page as well as I will upload it to YouTube. But we'll start with ringing of the bell, signifying the transition from the non-practice space to the practice space. So when you hear the bell, you might begin to notice your body in space and time. You might notice what it feels like to have the sensation of your feet on the floor, if that's available to you. You might notice where your body is supported in space and time, the type of chair that you're on. And you might even notice what's in the space around you, just bringing your awareness. It may be likely that you're in a space that you're spending a lot of time in. So maybe you can invite yourself to notice something different about the space, bringing awareness. And then you're welcome to softly focus your gaze or close your eyes for our centering breath practice. And then the resting of your hands, it might seem inconsequential, but there are ways to work with hand positions that we can begin to notice what feels supportive and choose that action that's supportive. So for example, you might experiment with your hands resting palms down on your lap. You might notice what that feels like. You might invite yourself to let the hands rest palms up and notice what that feels like. You might bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly and notice what that feels like. And then choose the action that feels the most supportive to you. And then just the invitation here to witness the rise and fall of your own breath without shifting or altering it in any way. Just noticing the fact that without any direction on your part, breath is entering your body and releasing from your body. And so in yoga, there are so many different breathing practices. The breathing practices are thousands of years old. And what we look at with the breathing practices is changing the ratio of oxygen to carbon dioxide. And we can let the breath, we can engage with the breath with intention to either revitalize and create energy, create more vitality, or we can use the breath to calm our central nervous systems and slow things down. So for our intents and purposes here, we're going to invite a slow, deep breath cycle. Preferably we do that in and out through the nose, but if that's not available to you, you can use your mouth, or a combination of nose and mouth. So on your next available inhale, just bringing a little bit more air in as you breathe in. Slowly releasing as you breathe out. And the next breath arises, bringing a little bit more air in this time, if that's available, breathing in. And fully releasing, letting all of that breath out, letting all that carbon dioxide out on the exhale. So taking your time to find a breath cycle that feels supportive to you. And you might notice, you might even be able to feel in your body that sense of expansion when you inhale. And that sense of release when you exhale. And paying attention to sensation in the body gives the mind a place to anchor. And also it gives us a way to feel connected to our body, so we're aware if we've gone over our edge, if we've gone past sensation into pain. And the breath is usually a good place to focus your attention on, because if you've crossed your edge, generally you can't breathe. So anything we do in a practice together, meeting yourself where you are at the edge of sensation, linking your breath to your experience. And we can also recognize the breath is our indicator of being alive. Breathing in, breathing out. And we'll take another deep breath in together, breathing in. And if you exhale, if you like, you can let your hands rub together. I like to do that when I'm transitioning between a more contemplative part of the practice to a more active part of the practice. So you're welcome to do that as well if that feels right for you. And then part of my practice, one of the foundations of my practice is sound, Nada Yoga. And we can use sound to in vibration to ground and stabilize the vagus nerve, the longest running nerve in the central nervous system. Humming also, I can feel when I hum, if I have sinus issues, I can feel that if I can find a tone and a place where that vibration can resonate, it can often open my sinuses. So I often have tissues nearby when I'm practicing. So if you are choosing to hum, you'll hear the sound of the drone and you'll hear my voice. And the invitation is for you to notice what sound feels like in your body. You don't have to try to match my pitch or anything that I'm doing. You can let your voice travel or stay on one pitch, doing what feels right for you. Deep breath in. So we're going to do a little movement. If it's possible for you, in the chair that you're on, and hopefully your chair doesn't have wheels. It's not always a good idea to practice in a chair with wheels. I have my chair on my mat, recognizing you might not have a chair on a mat. But if you can, come to the edge of your seat, because that gives you the ability to still remain present in your core. And you can bring my feet are out, I don't know if you can see, my feet are out a pretty decent distance in front, and my knee is behind my ankle. And this just really gives me a lot of stability and grounding in this chair. And you might note that the sit bones, the two ischial tuberosities, the two bony bones, they're always going to have an equal bearing of my weight. So even if I'm moving and twisting, I'm rotating at the rib cage and I'm not leaning and I'm not shifting my weight from one side to the other. So just inviting that awareness in your practice that you're keeping both of those sit bones equally grounded and that we're rotating from the rib cage. Again, I can't see you in your practice, so inviting yourself to be in your body. We're going to link movement with the breath. If your range of movement, come to where it feels right for your range of movement. If your range of movement is not here, you can link breath and movement in front, out to the side. Finding way, the intention is to link the breath with movement. So doing that to where you are in your body is the invitation. So I'll invite you on your next available inhale, bringing the arms, moving with the breath, inhaling, letting the arms come up in some way, and exhale, returning back. So however that movement shows up for you in your body, linking your breath and your movement, which might be paced differently than mine. And part of how we learn in yoga to cultivate the witness, to observe our open experiences, to recognize when we're feeling feelings and having thoughts, is on our mat, we cultivate the ability to notice without judgment. So just noticing what it feels like to breathe and move. And after your next exhale, taking your time to come back to center, and again, observing the effect of that action on your mind, on your body. And then we'll inhale, we'll come up again. And this time when you exhale, doesn't matter which side, you can let one hand come down, rotate the opposite shoulder. Again, be where your range of movement is. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here. Be where you are in your body. Opening the side body as you rotate the torso from side to side, linking your breath and your movement. You might notice the space between the ribs. You might notice any sensation in the arms, the shoulders. And after your next exhale, coming back to center. Again, breathing in and out, noticing what's present. And then we'll inhale again to center. And this time when you exhale, again, it doesn't matter which side, keeping both sit bones grounded, rotating from the rib cage, coming over to one side, inhaling back to center, exhaling over to the other side. Moving at your own pace and flow, coming into the twist, only as deep as feels right in your body, rotating at the rib cage. And the next time we come to center, we can exhale again, coming back, breathing in and out. And we're going to do a little articulation of the spine. And the spine, as you know, houses the central nervous system and all the organs and glands. And there's a really beautiful, elegant sort of structure to our spine. And we can feel like we have the cervical, the thoracic, the lumbar, the sacrum. There's a beautiful sort of curve that is part of our structure. And so we're going to sort of follow that curve as we inhale, opening up space here. Exhale, rounding. Tucking that tailbone, chin in toward the chest. Inhale, just sort of feeling the vertebrae as you move with the breath. And after you come to that exhale, you might even, keeping the sit bones equally grounded, you might even move a little bit in a circular way. This is a really lovely thing to do to give yourself a break from sitting. If you're sitting at a desk and you just need to move your body, keeping that movement linked with your breath. If you like, you can reverse direction. And then slowly in your own time, coming back to center. Again, noticing what's present, taking a breath in and out. All right, so we'll do a little work with the head and the shoulders and the neck, and these are tender areas, so we move slowly and we pay attention to sensation. And again, we are inviting presence and awareness of breath. So we're not holding our breath, but we're inviting the breath to support our movement. So on your next available inhale, letting the shoulders come back behind the ears if that's available to you. We'll go ahead and lift the head, making sure not to compress any vertebrae here, but just to open up space in the front. And my yoga students, we do this a lot, and it feels really silly, but making faces at the ceiling, moving the muscles around in your jaw, where you might carry tension here, your brow. And it might look really silly, and people might be laughing at me, and that is completely fine. Giving the muscles in your face a little workout. And then taking a deep breath in. With the shoulders remaining behind the ears, let the chin come in slowly toward the chest. Feeling that stretch in the back of the neck. Breathing in and out. And then go ahead and inhale. Let your gaze come over to one of your shoulders. It doesn't matter which one. Inhaling, and as you exhale, slowly let the chin come in toward the chest, bringing the gaze up toward the other shoulder, breathing in. And again, following that same path back. Inhaling and exhaling through. Notice where you might feel the muscles, any knots. Inhaling. This time when you exhale, go ahead and let the chin come in toward the chest, breathing in and out. And then slowly let the head come up to center, breathing in and out. And then go ahead and let one of your ears, keeping your shoulders square, let one of your ears move toward your shoulder, feeling that space in the side. You can even bring your hand to the top of your head. Now, I'm not pushing, I'm just allowing the weight of my hand to just very slightly increasing that stretch. And if you like, you can bring your hands here and give yourself a little massage. Remembering to maintain that deep, full breath. And then taking a deep breath in and slowly coming back to center, breathing in. And exhale, coming over to the other side. Again, you're welcome to bring the hand to the head, massage. You can even extend, let one arm reach toward the floor as your head moves. Remembering to be very tender with the head and the neck. Breathing in and out. Taking a deep breath in and releasing your hands, coming back to center. Notice how your head is resting on the top of that spinal column. All right, so we'll invite ourselves to find some movement with our shoulders. So you can have the fingertips here, or you can just let the arms down here, so doing whatever feels right for you. And again, moving to your range of movement. If you have one shoulder that's not capable, maybe just move one of them. If you have an issue with your right shoulder, maybe just move the one of them. So doing what feels right for your body, linking your movement and breath. If you like, you can reverse direction. And bringing the arms back to center. And I'll mirror this one. If you like, you can bring the arms forward, taking the left elbow underneath the right arm, turning toward the left, only as far as feels right for your body, for your shoulder. And you can let the gaze come out over that right shoulder. That's available to you. If not, keep the head and neck where it is comfortable. And breathing in and out here. And releasing. And then noticing what's present, noticing the difference between both arms. And we'll bring the arms out, and this time we'll bring the right arm underneath the left, turning toward the right, gaze out over the left shoulder, maintaining your breath. Taking a deep breath in and exhale, releasing. Again, noticing what's present here. And we're going to do a little work with our hands, recognizing that many of us are spending probably a little bit more time than we typically do on social media, on communicating through that. So if you have carpal tunnel or ulnar nerve radiation or anything like that, and this is something that causes you pain and discomfort, maybe just rub your hands together, give yourself a little massage without any deep tissue manipulation. If you don't have any of those issues, you can just let your hands, I'm actually going to bring them up and down with this sort of like duckbill thing. This increases the strength in the muscles around your wrists, maintaining your breath. A lot of the areas, all of our activities of daily living are in the frontal plane. We do a lot of our activities of daily living have repetitive movements, so we want to build muscle around joints and parts of our bodies that are experiencing a lot of stress from repetitive movement. You can even bring the arms out to the side and do this. You'll probably notice fatigue setting in. This is something that would be great to do if you're at a desk and you need to take a break and give your hands some love. We'll do this one more time. Again, you might have reached your fatigue limit before me. I do this often. And then come back to center, noticing that didn't look like a whole lot, but I feel that right around the wrists. Again, if you don't have carpal tunnel or ulnar nerve radiation, I'm going to invite us into another experience with the hands. If you do have those issues, maybe continue to just rub the hands, give the hands some love, just stimulate a little blood flow by some gentle rubbing. If that's not an issue, you can take one of your hands, palms facing each other, and make sure the thumb is included. And what we're going to do here is provide a little resistance. So I'm pressing my hands together, and I'm going to continue to press down as the hand on the bottom presses up, maintaining a full deep breath cycle. Breathing in and out. Again, if you have a lot of arthritis in your hands, this might not be for you, but if you're not dealing with any of these issues, this is something that can help prevent carpal tunnel, ulnar nerve radiation, by strengthening the muscles around those areas that we see have a lot of repetitive movement. And then switching sides. Again, providing a little resistance. Knowing how to take care of your body, recognizing when you have areas that need care. It's easier to prevent than to treat with a lot of things, especially when it comes to repetitive stress injury. So cultivating awareness, one of the things that we do in a mindfulness-based practice is we don't think about, oh, I get everything done and then I rest. We find ways, and releasing, we find ways to build little practices in between our activities of daily life, whether that's 3 breaths or getting up and, moving your arms around like this, shaking, inviting yourself to build things into your daily life so you don't find yourself not doing anything during the day, going to sleep with so much constriction in your body, having a restless night's sleep and waking up and doing it all over again the next day. That's what we want to avoid. We want to be able to be clear in our mind and have clarity in our thoughts. We want to be able to unpack unhealthy beliefs and habits. So we do that by paying attention and noticing if we need to be revitalized or if we need to be grounded and calm. And part of yoga is moving from this state of agitation and lethargy to balance, and we're constantly moving in and out of those states, but cultivating awareness will help us be closer to balance and will help prevent us from being a pendulum swinger from one state to the other. All right, so we're going to invite a little opening in the hip, a little side body. So go ahead and bring the legs out, and you can let the toes come to opposite sides, and that'll externally rotate your hips. And again, paying attention to your body, noticing if this feels okay for your hips and your knees. And we're going to come forward, keeping the spine nice and long, inhaling and exhaling back. And inhaling forward again, leading with the heart. Something that would be helpful if this feels a little bit like you might fall off the chair is to have a chair in front of you, facing you, that you could actually put your hands on and give you a little bit more stability. And making sure these chairs aren't going to move. So you can do that, or you can even bring the arms forward. And the next time we come forward, go ahead and bring your hand to the inside of one of your legs. The other hand can go on the hip, and you can rotate the torso toward that side. You can keep the hand on the hip, or the arm can come up and come through the other side. Again, hand can stay on the hip, or arm can come up. Moving at your own pace and flow. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. And the next time you come to center, we'll come back up. We're going to keep one leg coming a little closer to the chair and extend another leg out. And again, this is another, if you feel like you need a little bit more support, you can bring a chair in front of you. We want to keep the spine nice and long. We don't ever want to compress anything here. And my foot is flexed, the one that's extended, but I'm not locked into the joint. And just invite yourself inhaling here, and exhale, just come as far forward as feels right. You might even have blocks on the floor that you can let the hands come to. And you might move up and down, or you might move with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Getting a little hamstring. And one more breath cycle. And exhaling. And if you like, if it's available to you, you can bring this leg up and just get a little bit of movement happening in the hip socket joint. If this isn't something that's available to you to do in the chair, I would recommend, if you can, in your bed, if you're lying on your back, being able to just get that range of movement happening here. Get that ball and socket joint. Give that ball and socket joint the ability to move in more than one plane of movement. And then go ahead and set that foot down. And we'll extend the other one out. Again, the foot's flexed. And keeping the spine nice and long. Again, give yourself permission to experiment. Either coming forward, having a chair here. You could always use a bathrobe tie or a necktie and have that around the ball of your foot and give a little stretch in that way. You can move with the breath again. So there's always more than one way to do anything in this practice. And the next time you come down on an exhale, and go ahead and bring that foot up, and you can move the foot around too, as well as Getting a little bit of movement in that ball and socket joint in the hip. And then bringing the feet back. And you can even get a little bit of work in your core by slowly bringing one leg up at a time, keeping your hands on your hips, having your sit bones at the edge of the seat, sort of slow movement. I can feel the engagement here in a lot of different muscle groups. My feet are flexed as I'm moving. And one more time on each side. And then coming back to center. And then checking in with yourself, just noticing if there's any other part of your body that wants to move, and inviting yourself, what I'll invite you to do is to think about in the course of your day, creating some movement for you that brings you out of just the frontal plane. Whether you're opening the side body or twisting, or coming into like a side, being sideways or forward fold. And inviting yourself to find ways to come to your range of movement around all of the joints in your body, the hinge joints, the ball and socket joints, and just, to create a little bit of movement in all of those parts of your body every day can be really helpful in lots of different ways. So we're going to end with a little meditation. If you want to sit, we've been sitting toward the edge of our seat. If you want to sit back and have a little bit more of the ability to let the chair support you, you can do that. And just inviting yourself to notice what you feel after moving and breathing, if anything has shifted or changed. You can close the eyes again if you choose. Notice your breath. Notice if your breath has shifted or changed. I notice that my breath has more spaciousness and ease in it after moving my body and linking breath and movement together. You might notice that or something else entirely. And then just inviting yourself to feel what is available to you. Feel what is available to you in your body to feel. And again, this practice of yoga, we come into the physical body to anchor ourselves into the present moment, which is where life is happening. We can recognize when we study and explore our own breath and our own body, we can be aware of the fact that we're here, that we've been given the privilege of our life, we've been given the privilege of this day and of this breath. And what will we do with this one wild and precious life that we've been given? How can we show up to be of service? How can we show up and remove the barriers that are sometimes, at least in my own experience, largely self-created, that allow us to show up and share our gifts with the world, that allow us to work for the freedom, safety, and peace of all beings. Breathing in, breathing out. Inviting that practice to help you cultivate the ability to be the witness of your own experience, where you can begin to notice your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And part of the practice of yoga is being able to own our own inherent worth and value, and have our thoughts, words, and actions come more from that place. And then from that, we extend that to seeing the inherent worth and value of all beings. And have our thoughts, words, and actions towards other beings come from that awareness. Breathing in, breathing out. And we'll take a deep breath in together, rubbing the hands if you like. And I'll offer a blessing for our practice. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. May all beings be well. May all beings be free and safe from harm. May all beings have peace. And may my thoughts, my words, and my actions contribute to that wellness, freedom, safety, and peace of all of life. So be it. So thank you for joining me today. I'm really grateful to offer tools and supports, and you can visit my website, yogasong.net. You're already on my Facebook page, and I'm going to also upload this video to my YouTube channel. So please share with any that you feel could benefit from this and other practices, and I hope you have a peaceful and blessed day. Namaste, Om Shanti.